All right, today we are diving into the warped side of the universe to see how black holes collide. We're going to the absolute edge of physics, where two of the most powerful and mysterious things in the cosmos are on a collision course. So, what actually happens when they finally meet? Let's find out. So this whole story really kicks off back in 2015. And it's a huge deal, because for the first time ever, scientists detected, ripples in the very fabric of space itself. Think about that for a second. We didn't just see the universe anymore. We could actually hear it. These were gravitational waves, something Einstein predicted 100 years ago, and we finally found them.
And what was that incredible sound? It was an echo from an absolutely insane event that happened over 1 billion years ago. We heard the sound of two black holes locked in this final violent dance. They'd been spiraling toward each other for who knows how long, and this was the grand finale. A collision so powerful, it literally warped space-time across the cosmos.
You know, that one detection changed everything. It completely opened up a new window onto the universe. So it begs the question, right? What is actually happening when two of these mysterious objects collide? What goes on in that final crazy moment? And more importantly, what can it teach us about, everything?
Okay, so to really get a handle on this cosmic smash-up, we've got to first understand the rules of the game. We need to talk about the music they're dancing to, the seriously mind-bending physics of gravity, courtesy of Albert Einstein. All right, let's meet our main characters, a binary black hole system. It's kind of like a solar system, but instead of a sun and planets, you've got two objects with just unimaginable density, locked in orbit around each other. And as they dance, they're constantly radiating energy away as gravitational waves. This causes their orbit to get smaller and smaller. Their fate is totally sealed. They're absolutely going to collide. And this is where we have to upgrade our understanding of gravity. See, Newton thought of it as a simple force, a pull between two objects. But Einstein came along and showed us it's way, way weirder. He realized that massive objects literally bend and warp the fabric of space-time around them. That curve is what we feel as gravity. And when you're talking about black holes, that warp is cranked up to the absolute max.
So, that brings us to the first act in this cosmic play, the inevitable Inspiral. This is the long, slow part of the story, a process that can take millions, even billions of years.
And what's really incredible is that scientists can basically predict this entire cosmic drama using just a handful of key numbers. You can really think of them like the system's DNA. Things like the mass ratio, is one bigger than the other, their total combined mass, and how fast each one is spinning. These few variables basically write the entire script for everything that's about to happen.
And this right here is what gives us the signal we actually detect back on Earth. As the black holes keep losing energy and spiral faster and closer, the gravitational waves they're sending out get higher in frequency and stronger in amplitude. It creates this very distinct sound that scientists call a chirp. It's basically the sound of space-time screaming as it gets twisted out of shape.
Now this long, slow dance has to end somewhere, and it ends at a critical point of no return. A boundary that has a great acronym, ISCO, the innermost stable circular orbit. Before they reach this point, the black holes are in a stable orbit, even if it is shrinking. But once they cross that line, all bets are off. It's over. They are locked into a final, super-fast plunge straight into each other.
And that plunge, that leads us right to the climax of the story, the collision of these two titans, the merger itself. And let me tell you, this is where physics gets absolutely wild, and our everyday intuition just completely falls apart.
No, seriously, just pause and think about that for a second. What happens when space-time itself collides? This isn't like two cars crashing. This is a collision between two of the most extreme, warped pieces of reality in the entire universe. So how on earth do you even begin to simulate something like that? Well, the answer is with some serious computing power. To figure this chaos out, scientists use something called numerical relativity. Basically, they get these massive supercomputers to slice space-time up into a bunch of 3D layers, almost like frames in a movie. They solve Einstein's incredibly complex equations for each individual slice, and then they stitch them all back together to create a simulation of the collision. It's really the only way we can even begin to picture what's happening. And the stuff these simulations show, it's just bizarre. The two separate event horizons, the points of no return, they actually merge into this single, really distorted shape. Physicists literally call it a pair of pants shape because of how it looks. And get this, For a super brief moment, the simulations show that the new event horizon can even form a torus, a donut shape, before it all settles down. Just wild.
But the story isn't over just because they've collided. All that chaos gives way to something new, the birth of a single, much more massive black hole. And let's just say, it is not a peaceful birth.
This is where things get even more violent, if you can believe it. See, if the merger isn't perfectly symmetrical, like if the masses or spins are a little off, then the gravitational waves don't shoot out evenly in all directions. And because of Newton's third law, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. This gives the brand new black hole a massive kick. It sends it flying through space. For one famous merger, that kick was measured at a staggering 50 kilometers per second.
And a kick like that has huge consequences. A speed of 50 kilometers per second is definitely fast enough to get that new black hole ejected from its home in a dense star cluster, but it's not nearly fast enough to escape the insane gravity of an active galactic nucleus. So where these mergers happen plays a huge role in the black hole's ultimate fate. So right after the merger and the kick, the newborn black hole is all distorted and wobbly. It needs to settle down. It gets rid of all this extra energy in one final burst of gravitational waves. We call this the ringdown. And the analogy is perfect. It literally rings like a bell that's just been struck. And the specific tones of that ringdown tell us everything we need to know, its final mass and its final spin. That's it.
Okay, so we've just walked through this absolutely incredible cosmic event. But, so what? Why does it matter? Why do we spend so much time studying these violent cataclysms? Well, it turns out they might just hold the keys to some of the biggest puzzles in all of astrophysics.
For starters, they act like cosmic clues. These mergers help us figure out where these black hole pairs even come from. Do they start as two massive stars that live and die together? Do they find each other in the chaos of a dense star cluster? Or are they forged in the swirling disks around supermassive black holes? See, each of these origin stories leaves its own unique fingerprint on the gravitational waves, a signature that we can now read.
And just when you think the physics can't get any weirder, it does. A spinning black hole doesn't just curve spacetime, it actually twists it, dragging space and time along with it like a whirlpool. This effect is called frame dragging. It's one of the most out there predictions of general relativity, and by studying the wobbles in the orbits right before a merger, we can actually see it happening.
So putting all this together helps us tackle some of the biggest questions out there, like how do the supermassive black holes at the center of galaxies get so enormous? And could we ever see a merger with a telescope, not just hear it? Maybe, if one of those kicked black holes slams into a giant gas cloud and lights it up. And of course, every single one of these detections is a brand new test of Einstein's theories in the most extreme environments imaginable. And so far, he's been right every single time.
You know, it's pretty amazing to think that we've only been listening in on this warped side of the universe for less than a decade. It really makes you wonder, right? As our detectors get more and more sensitive and we start to hear these cosmic echoes almost every day, what other secrets are out there? What else are we going to learn about gravity, space-time, and the universe itself just by listening?